Hello guys, so today we're working on this Mitsubishi Galant. I forget the year, but we have a stabilizer bar on the front right tire that needs to be replaced. It's been like rusted in there, so we're gonna go through steps on like how to jack up your car and all that stuff. So the first thing you gotta do is go get some blocks to chalk off the rear tires from slipping. You're gonna take your car, put it underneath the tire right here, and just jam it in there so that your wheels won't go back. Take the other one, slide it underneath, pat it in there, make sure it stays, and we're good to go. Alright, since we're going to be taking this crossbar, and then you're just going to find the right size, and you don't want to take these nuts too far off, because you don't want the wheel to be bent while the car is still down, so you're just going to move them so that they're untightened like that. Like that. Now we're going to jack up the car. When jacking up the car, pull this under. You're going to want to image insert it here. You're going to want to get this mounted on the bottom metal engine mount. And down here, that's kind of way back. Make sure that no one is in your area, so if you want to back up, you start, turn your bar, start, yep, it's the wrong way. Alright, then you're going to start jacking up your car. Before you jack it up too high, get it on the mount, and make sure your thing will not wiggle out of the way, and slowly start jacking it up. Jacking it up. So just slowly start jacking it up. Make sure you watch, make sure nothing slips and it's in a good spot. Just slowly start jacking up the car. Alright, desired height, double check, make sure no one is around. We're going to grab our crossbars. So now we're going to go behind the tire, underneath the car, and right here, this piece of metal, that's part of the chassis. You want to put this crossbar right here, underneath the car. Now, with some cars, you might have to jack it up a lot higher. And on this car, since it's so low, we're going to have to jack it up more. Alright, after you've jacked the car up a lot more, we're going to see that spot right there. You want to make sure that that's not the chassis. I've worked on this car before. You can kind of like bang it. Make sure that is the underbody, the chassis, and not this part of the metal frame here. This is not part of the chassis. This is part of the side skirt. You do not want to put it on here, because you're going to put this on here and this part's going to bend. It's going to crack and your car's going to go crashing down to the ground, and we really don't want that. Alright, so now that's under there, what you're going to do is, now that you're under there, there is a U that you can see right in here. You want that piece of metal to fit right in the middle of that. We're going to line her up just like so. Make sure it's centered on there and it's not on one side or the other. Alright, now we're going to go to the other side. Grab our bar. Come down under the car. Down under here. We can see we have another frame right in here. We're going to take our jack, scoot it under there. Another thing I think a lot of people forget to do is make sure that these two are lined up with each other, just like so. so that one's not more in the front or the back, because then that's going to put the car into a lean like that, and that's very, very dangerous. I'm going to move that up, try to get them parallel to each other as possible, and then we're going to slowly jack the car down and watch to make sure that they go in line. Alright, so what we're going to do is look underneath the car at both the jacks. You're going to ever so slightly release the jack. Sometimes it can be stiffer. You don't want to jack the car down too low. Alright, so look, make sure that they are parallel to each other and that the surface, the chassis metal, is equally flat surfaced to each mount. And slowly let the car down. Then what you're going to do is go up to each side of the car, give it a nice little tug back and forth. Repeat on the other. I think she's good to go. Alright, now we've got all that checked out. You can grab our crossbar again and finish taking, wrong side, and finish taking these nuts off. I like to leave the top one on. Yeah. I like to leave the top one on and take the rest off so that the wheel doesn't just kind of fall off right away. This is also a great time to teach your cousins or your kids how to replace a tire, because why not? Place it right there, so if the car does fall again, you have some extra safety. Like those threads I was mentioning earlier, these are extremely rusted and should be cleaned, which I will be doing. But to get all things down through this main video, this is the problem right here. It's kind of hard to see, I'll get a light here, but this rod right here is bouncing around in here, making noise and possibly wrecking stuff. For all those who don't know, this is connected to the anti-roll bar, which is right here coming down. This goes all the way through the chassis to the other side, and it prevents the body of the car from rolling too much and eating the front wall of your tire. So we've got our tire. This would be the flat side. This would be the inner wall right here. So in a lot of drift cars, when they're going sideways and stuff, they eat this inner wall. And like if you watch hot laps or something with street cars, you might see that when they turn, the car leans and it starts eating this inside tire. And you really don't want that. You want this full patch on the road. So we're going to go ahead and fix that bar and clean up. And I'm also going to be seeing why there's so much oil caked on all this stuff. You know, do some cleaning, all that great stuff. I'm like just now looking at the extent of all this oil in here. Like, it's like fresh caked oil. Like, it's still wet. One thing I forgot to mention while you're working on this is if you grab like a normal old U-Haul box, oh hey look, no bug. But if you grab a normal old U-Haul box, that works great too for working on this stuff. If you don't want to like get oil and dirt on your engines and stuff, or on your floors, my gosh, your engines, on your floor, you just take one of these U-Haul mats, put it down right here, put your tire back. I'll just swap that so that you don't get oil on your nice vinyl floor. I'm gonna take one of these and then like brush it in there with a power drill. So what I'm gonna be doing, that was a 14mm bolt. Now I'm going down to a smaller size, ever so slightly smaller size, so that I can take a hammer and then just pound it in there to make a new engraving. So what I realized what's going on is that there's the bolt going through. Actually, I'll show you on this. There's a bolts like on here, like on this one, except I gotta hold it on this side. So the bolt right here is stuck on this outside. This is the one I've been turning, but it's turning this whole thing. So I gotta figure out how to get it not to do that. Yay. So just in case you guys are confused, I made this graph for you all. So what's going on here is, here we've got the mount, or the arm, going from the bottom to the top. And what I've been trying to do this whole time is get this bolt on here off this main off this main mount. So this is the main mount to the car. This is the bolt that presses the ball joint on and keeps everything together, obviously. The problem is, though, is that once this is unhooked right here, then this is welded on to this. And the joint on here is all one piece. So what happens is now I've gotten this off. This bolt here, it's just one piece that's spinning. And I have to try, one thing I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to just drill, I'm going to like cut like right there. And then just hopefully just pull it out that way. I'll show you here on the car what's going on. Alright, now that we're looking in here, you can see I got the bottom mount off, and like I was just saying, the ball joints in there. You have the ball joints, and on the other side is the hex bolt that you have to get off, and you have to unscrew it. Problem is, when you unscrew it, the ball joint here just spins with it. It's like, what do you do? One idea I had is I might make a cut in there, and no, I'm losing focus. I might make a cut. How does it focus on the words way over there, bro? Okay, so what's going on is either I could make a little cut in there, stick a rod through it, and then try to spin it that way. But the problem is that bolt might be rust welded onto the joint. So that's literally the same exact problem on this side, except it's reversed. So as the nut would be here, up here it's like that. So I've tried so much, you guys. You have no idea. I'm losing room on the camera because it's old, and daylight too. I've literally been doing this for 6 hours today, but that's that. Alright, so we're back to the Galant again. A couple days have gone by. I just jacked it up and everything. So I finally got the Dremel tools that we need. So we're going to be dremeling this top bolt off right here, and then we're going to be bolting out this bottom one right here. So you can kind of see here when you spin this, when you spin the bolt on this side or on this side as shown here, the whole unit just spins, and there's no way to like clamp it down because these are ball joints. So what I'm going to end up doing is pretty much just sawing these off with a Dremel tool. I guess that's pretty much it, and we'll see what goes from there. There we go. It's out. Guys, you have no idea how much of pain this has been. There we go. It's actually out of there. Oh my gosh. Oh. That is such a relief. So I didn't even have to cut the whole bolt off. I just had to like make some grooves in there so I could clamp it on, and then I just screw out the top of the back bolt. There you go, everybody. Woo! Oh man, that's a good feeling. Alright, so that's the next bolt we gotta get out, and it's just like this one, except instead of us, I just dropped it. Instead of us looking at it, oh my goodness. Instead of us looking at it this way, we're looking at it this way now. So I'm just gonna like try to make some grooves behind it and then get it out. And would you look at that, the bolt is out. Now, I wasn't recording this because it was taking forever, but I actually got one of these Dremel tools, and I pretty much just cut up into it, and oh, it's still hot. This bolt right here, pretty much just cut it off. Oh dang it, the thing is hot. Here you go. So that's what I cut off. I made like little cuts in here, like the part where my head was in the way. I was making all these little cuts in here. It's kind of hard to see, but I made little cuts in here so the vice grips could grip it, but then it kept slipping. So then I actually ended up taking the vice grips and like cutting new little engravements in there. A lot of crazy stuff. So now we gotta get that new sports one in here and get this sucker out of here. Alright, now that the wheel realigned, the camera, I'm gonna take this nut off. Take this nut off. Before we put it in here, we need to double check, make sure it fits. You gotta be kidding me. Alright, so there's the top one. And then we can get this bottom one in here. Alright. There we go. So that's how it'll look once it's in there. So we gotta put this top bolt on, that bottom one. But before we do that, we gotta grease up these joints in here so that these can swivel. And there's a little grease injector right here. So let's take care of that. Alright, so here's what we're gonna be doing. You see in this baggie we've got these are oil injectors. So let's open this up. My battery's about to die, so sorry for the video cuts all of a sudden. Alright, so what I was just saying, you're going to drill this, and I already did the bottom one, but technically with the top, what you're going to do is you're just going to like screw it in a little, and then you can take a wrench of some sort, and then just, oh, that one's too big. Take a wrench, and just start pulling it in. Oh yeah, it's out. Alright, so now you're gonna like it's nice and snug. Same thing with the bottom. So it's snug in there. Alright. Now what we're gonna get is we need a pistol. Oh, that's actually what it says. Pistol grip grease gun. It doesn't have to be a pistol tip. It just has to be a grease gun of some sort. Let's open this up here. Alright, now that we got the grease gun out, now we have two grease grades. This one's obviously smaller, but that's not really the point. So the difference between these, this one says high temperature, extreme pressure. This one says moly fortified. I'm not sure what moly is, I'll have to look it up. And then you have extreme pressure. There's always some stuff in the back I can always look at. A moly fortified, so yeah. So how we're gonna fill this gun is the right here was we pulled this back, so on the inside there is an area to put our gun in, or our grease in, sorry. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this, we're gonna open it up. Now you're not gonna take this side, on the metal side, and put it in here. We're gonna flip it, put it in that way. So now you're going to put it in right here. Then you have this cap. You're going to take this cap. Shouldn't be that difficult. Oh, there we go. I'm going to take it. I'm going to pull it off like that. Look at that beautiful red. Stop finally, leave me alone. Alright, so now that we got this on, what we're going to do, I just hit a fly. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take our grease gun lid. We're going to put it on and tighten it. We're going to make it snug. So don't put it on all the way. Just so it's on there snug. Just barely. Alright. So then what we're going to do is, go back out the camera. What we're going to do is, now that we have this rod in here, we're going to want to put, you can just throw this away, you won't need that anymore. Alright, so what you're going to want to do is, let's see, this has already been tightened on here, is we're going to pull this up here, and it's going to like push in. It's going to squeeze that, it's going to pull all the air out of here. Alright, so now that we're done with that, pretty much just shove it in all the way. So now we're like that. And then you can just continue and tighten this up all the way. Alright. Now if we did this right, a little bit of grease can just start coming out like 5 push. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's try to get this. Oh, there we go. So a little bit came out. Looked really weird. So just put this here. Just continue to push it out. Alright. So now that we got the grease into the gun, now what we're going to do is we're going to go to the end part here. You're going to take it, just connect it right on there, like so. Now we're going to pump it until oil starts leaking out from the sides on here. Try to get a zoom in on that. Alright. So now we're going to pump till grease starts coming out the sides. So you can see right here that some grease is coming out. So that means that it's full. What we can just do is just take it. Oh, you can just pull it out. There we go. Just like that. So we'll stick it in here. Oh. One more pump. Alright, so now that the grease is coming out, we just continue to take that out. Now we can put our grease gun away. The one time I don't have my gloves on, now people are going to think I just murdered somebody. So before we put our bar on, I'm going to put just a little bit of anti-seize on it so that it won't stick next time. I only suggest doing this with, whatchamacallit. I only suggest doing this for suspension parts and not parts for your engine, because that would be a disaster. Alright, after you've put some on there, on both sides, make sure you do both sides. Now we're just gonna put this in. Make sure you put the bolt side in the right way so that, by the way, the factory was. These are a little bit off, but that's okay, because once we drive it, they'll go back in shape. I want to make sure that the joints down here, they don't touch anything, because that could create some other issues. So now that we did that, you're going to want to wipe off the anti-seize off the bolt. Don't want. So now what I'm going to do is we have medium strength thread locker, the blue kind. I'm just going to take this off. Oh, that's right, I forgot you need to cut the tips off. Forgot about that. What we're gonna do is just put a little bit on your threads. So on there and back on the other one. I fall in love too easily. I fall in love too easily. That's in. Alright. They're both in. Now we just need to do a quick check to make sure that when we turn the wheel that it's not going to hit anything, and to also make sure that they'll bend accordingly. So let's give it a try. Alright. Wow, that's a good feeling. So the new bar is in, and it's in. Job done. Alright, so now that we're done with that, we're going to grab a drill of some sort, and it doesn't really matter what filing you use. It could be one of these, or it could be one of these, but we're going to use one of these to file down some of the rust that's on here, and then put some anti-seize on there, so that the wheels won't stick, because it's actually exactly what it sounds like. It's anti-seize, so let's do that. Also, in working on this, make sure you wear a mask and glasses as always, so that you don't get copper or metal bits in your lungs. Forgot about that earlier, but I remember, so yeah. Make sure your area is well aired. But we can clearly see now how nicer this is on here. We could do like a full paint and everything after that to prevent rusting, but I'm not going to do that today. So just do like a basic cleanup. And you could also grab, if I can find it, you can always grab a wire brush and just kind of clean around these edges. And I'll just do some of that too. I prefer a tool because it makes it go a lot faster, but not saying it can't be done. So anyway, what you're gonna do after that is grab your anti-seize. And open it here. Alright. Kind of wipe some of it off. You don't need that much. Alright, when you're done with that, you're just going to wipe your rotor with it. Do not, I repeat, do not get any of this on the brakes. That would be very bad. Once you've done that, grab some blue towel and wipe off the access, like on this edge on here, so you don't want any getting on the rotor. And get some off of the nuts, or the bolts. Sorry, get some off the bolts if you accidentally got some on there. I did. So you're just going to want to clean some of that off. Once you're done with that, we can roll out the tire and place it on. Normally, you would also do the inside of the tire, which I'll show you in a second here. So like I was just saying, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to clean like all of this right here. Just kind of clean all that up, and you can see all the dirt and oil that's got on here. This rim in here, this used to be silver, like a glossy silver. So you can kind of get an idea of how bad this oil dripping is. I think I can actually see it still dripping, but anyway, besides the point, you're going to want to clean up just on here. You don't have to really worry about the inside, just this outside, the face on here. Alright, so like at a Volt, what you want to do, you want to lift the tire. Don't just drag it onto the bolts, because it'll create worse stuff for you. Alright, so once you get it on there, just kind of hold it. Oh, I got some oil on the end. But you're going to want to just kind of fit this on. Grab your bolt. Grab one of the bottoms. I like to put the bottom on first just because it's most annoying. And that's a stabilizer bar and a Mitsubishi Galant ES 4-cylinder. Pam! I'm tired, I'm gonna get a cookie. Alright, so before we put any ooh, this is really messy. Look at that. So much, it's sad. This is a size, like, just barely smaller than a millimeter. It is a 14 millimeter, never mind.
Talking to me?
Oh, I just broke the disc. You guys can see that. Oh, ow. I just broke the disc. Okay, so what I was just saying before the camera died, throw these away. Oh my gosh, I missed. I just saw an ugly spider right there. Yeah, learn not to touch that metal part on there. That thing is stupid hot.